swagger of invincibility that comes with a 14-0 start. But Jim Calhoun had his Huskies ready, wanting to prove they were the elite team in the Big East. Connecticut played with intensity and a swagger of their own. In the end, it was the Huskies who maintained their status as top dogs in the Big East. The rematch is next. Welcome to Miami, Florida, and the Miami Arena, where two of the best teams in the country, two of the elite teams in the Big East, are ready to meet for the second time. It is the Huskies of Connecticut against the Hurricanes of Miami. The standings in the Big East Conference show that in the East Division, Connecticut now holds a 2-game lead over Miami. So the Canes are running out of ground to catch the Huskies in the regular season for the top seeding in the conference if they can. Good evening, everyone. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. A month ago, Connecticut had a rally from behind at home to beat Miami by a single point. And tonight we have the rematch, and we have the rematch of two tremendous players, Bucky, who've been going against each other since their AAU days years ago.
And they just keep getting better, Don. They come from different parts of the country. Butler from Wisconsin is a sleek, efficient package. He goes for 18 a game, but he's quick enough to lead the team in steals and tough enough to get 9 offensive boards against Syracuse. Darius Rice is a 6'10 scoring machine. From Mississippi, he chose the Hurricanes over Kentucky. He hasn't disappointed. If you like tall jump shots, you'll love Darius Rice.
Well, Big Darius hit 4 3-pointers in that game at Storrs, Connecticut a month ago. Both these teams in ill humor. They both lost their last time out, so they're revved up and ready.
Indeed, they both had leads at the end, lost them, couldn't get it back. Tonight, it's early February. Not a must game, not a grudge game, but we're in for a treat. These guys can play.
So it is the Huskies and the Hurricanes in a moment. To you by Hyundai, where driving is believing. Come test drive the full line of exciting new cars at your local Hyundai dealer today. By Advance Auto Parts, the best part is our people. By Cooper Tires, a lot of mileage for the money. Cooper Tires, drive on. And by Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. And we're ready to go at the Miami Arena. UConn and Miami, you see the rankings. Both these teams contenders. UConn with a tremendous victory, winning at Arizona in overtime 2 games ago, but they're both coming off losses. Connecticut going with a sensational center, Okafor, Selby up front, Butler with him, and in the back line, Talik Brown and Tony Robertson. And for the Canes, they'll be going with James Jones and Elton Tyler at the forwards, Darius Rice, an inside-outside player at center, Marcus Barnes and John Selmans in the back line. There's John Selmans, and the tip is controlled by the Huskies, and Connecticut starts with the ball.
Canes in man for man.
Down low they go to Selby. It was Johnny Selby who 2 free throws with under 6 seconds to play. It gave the Connecticut the come from behind win over Miami a month ago. Jim Calhoun with over 600 career wins. That's his record at Connecticut. 29 years as a Division I head coach. Total win column has Jim Calhoun with 613.
The 2 guys ahead of him are Boeheim and Krzyzewski. That's quite a trifecta.
Now they try to go down low, and the ball caroms off the center of Mika Okafor. And the ball comes into the Miami Hurricanes for the first time. There's Perry Clark, head coach of Miami in his 2nd season. His team off to a great start this year, 18-3.
He had a terrific run at Tulane and was actually Leonard Hamilton's choice to succeed him here.
Back and forth, the ball goes to Butler and a driving slam dunk, and now a technical is signaled. The officials, John Cale, Ed Corbett, and John Hughes, who just teed him up for basket hanging.
Whoa. Whoa, you don't see that one called often.
A lot of emotion early in the game. It's kind of hard for a kid to slam it down and not grab the rim. You're allowed to hold it to keep yourself from getting submarine. But did a little extra swing.
Didn't appear to be anybody under there. Good call. Boy, Caron Butler's he's like a jaguar, sleek, efficient, strong. I made the point in the open. You know, he's been playing a lot of power forward. This year he's a small forward. He's quick enough to lead the team in steals, and on top of that, he's a very good rebounder. You get 9 rebounds against Syracuse off the offensive board, that's a day's work.
It is that, and John Salmons goes to the free throw line. And he gets one of them. So it's a 2-1 game, but the Canes will get possession of the ball. The Miami coaches, Bucky, are very concerned about matching the intensity of Connecticut. They said there's no team that comes out of the blocks like UConn. They can jump on you early.
Well, they can too. You know, they buried Villanova here about a week ago, 27-3 to start the game. So they got some explosiveness too. But I think they're right. Connecticut just comes with a tensile strength, especially at the defensive end.
Miami setting a play to go low to James Jones. A nice lead pass to Tyler. He loses control for a moment, and now let's see, the ball will come back inbounds to Miami. There is Elton Tyler, a 11-point-a-game scorer. Canes having trouble inbounding the ball. They get it down to Tyler, falling back, and here's another whistle, and he's called for travel. So the ball turns over to the Huskies.
Major problem tonight too will be scoring in the paint for Miami. The 3 games they've lost, all in the Big East, they lost because they were nearly doubled some nights in scoring in the paint, like 40 to 20, 20 to 16. They've got great size, but they are a perimeter team.
And it's ironic that their biggest player, Bucky's a great outside shooter, and that's Darius Rice, who's hit 44 threes already this year to lead the team. Driving shot by Robertson is no good. Rebound to Tyler. Up court to Salmons. 2-on-1 break. And Salmons pulls up from 15 feet out and flanks it. And here come the Huskies. Full speed. Good defensive play by Tyler, who tips the ball away from Caron Butler, who was cutting to the basket.
Boy, as we saw in Philadelphia, Don, when Connecticut is running well, they are scary good. Woohoo! Return to sender. We talk about him being an offensive player. My goodness. James Jones just picked that one right off the square.
Averages almost 3 blocks a game.
A lot of people think he may be their best player, Don. All around.
Very steady. Does it all. Rebounds, scores, defends. Lead pass up court. And Barnes loses the ball. And Bucky, fairly good hands.
Not bad. Full scholarship.
And back into play. No injuries.
No,
it's always good when the ball comes to the table, isn't it?
I can still sit down to a Steinway. No, nothing. I'm okay.
Nobody in the history of basketball broadcasting could get out of the way faster than Jerry West. Never saw anything like it. We couldn't hit him. Khalid Brown with the ball had a terrific game against Miami in the 1-point Connecticut win. And he hit 6 of 8 field goals, had 13 points, had 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Caron Butler slashing to the basket. Roll doesn't go. Rebound by Okafor, and he tips it out to the freshman Ben Gordon. And Gordon, who's been a hot hand lately, knocks it down, and it is a 5-1 game. UConn out early.
So far, the Canes are matching that intensity on the board.
James Jones launches, and he jams it. Possession arrow pointing this way, so it goes to Connecticut. They'll keep the ball. It's a jump ball play. And now at the possession arrow, the Canes will inbound the ball. Into Salmons. Out to Darius Rice, the sharpshooter at 6'10". But he can't get it to go.
Nobody on the board for the Canes, Don. And that means that Connecticut is running, and they are dangerous.
Connecticut last time out was beaten at Rutgers. Going for their 6th straight win was Miami their last time out, and they were beaten here by Boston College. Only loss for the Canes at home this season. They've won 11 here, 11-1.
A puzzle for Calhoun was how they could score 100 points out in Tucson against the number 5 Arizona Wildcats, and they come into Piscataway with hardly any cactus at all and score 53 points. Give credit to Rutgers and Gary Waters, their new coach. They're playing very good.
Yes, very good guard play is Rutgers, and now Butler, he's after the rack.
Sure, but boy, I'll tell you, that ball on the square. These are 2 top 20 teams going at each other. We can expect, I think, an offensive show. I think Connecticut would like to keep Miami on defense. If they don't get transition, I think they'd really like to show them all facets of their offense. Not that time.
Johnny Selby, a 12-point-a-game score.
If you want offensive continuity, probably don't give it to Selby till it's ready to shoot, because he's like a heat missile going to that iron. He's going to take it to the hoop or shoot it. Doesn't refer it to a committee.
He's not a long-range shooter, Selby, but very good in close. And now Darius Rice with the putback. And Darius Rice, who's averaging almost 13.5 points a game and over 6 rebounds. And he makes it a 9-5 game, Connecticut.
That's just a little sample there of a tremendous agility in that 6'10" frame.
Here's Caron Butler. Every time he's gotten the ball, he's looked to drive. John Salmon, such a versatile backline player, great defender, passer, scorer. And now a long ball off the mark, a 3-point try by Darius Rice, who hit 4 of 8 3-point tries in the loss at Storrs, Connecticut. Rebound to Rice, who is at 6'10", ball on the floor. He's not looking at the dish. And the rebound is knocked over to Salmons, and he is rejected.
This is not an equal opportunity offense. Whoever has it figures out a way to get it up there.
Looking to launch, locked and loaded. Here is the reject by James Jones a bit earlier. Huskies lead it early, 9-5. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters back at the Miami Arena. The UConn Huskies out to a 9-5 lead. UConn coming into the game 14-4 on the season, 6-1 overall. But it was interesting, Bucky, after the Huskies upset Arizona out in Tucson, one of the Arizona assistants, Jim Roseborough, said of all the teams we've played, UConn may be the best. And Arizona has played teams like Kansas, Maryland, Florida, Illinois, and UCLA.
Oh, this is an impressive team, and they're young. Selby, the only senior. They also played Oklahoma, a top 5 team, right to the wire.
Salmons with a good move to the basket, banks it in, makes it a 9-7 game. Huskies lead cut to 2.
You play Miami, you have to deal with that. John Salmons at 6'7", posting up your guards, and he's a bear in there.
That's one thing these big guards do. Marcus Barnes will also do it when he's in there, try to post up the smaller guards down low, and there is Talik Brown striking it down, and it makes it an 11-7 game.
A deep 3 is not Talik Brown's forte, but he looked very confident on that one.
Now the Canes on their home floor throw the ball away, so it comes back inbounds to the Huskies, and Perry Clark, who's been preaching in the recent practices, protect the ball, value every possession. We're not good enough to be throwing it away as they've done in some recent games.
I thought I handled that bounce pass a lot better than
you did.
Yeah, no question. Perry would like to play faster. He's still playing with Leonard Hamilton's talent, and when he gets his type of player, he's going to be playing a lot faster tempo. Right now, he's got a jump shooting perimeter team, and he's done very well with it.
Okafor, very solid guy. You talked about his 9 block shots in the last 2 games, which is phenomenal. That's good for Bill Russell in his heyday, and this guy's a freshman.
Yes. Got quick feet, great timing. And he lets it come to him.
Hayes comes out and screens, and long ball by Robertson is no good. Rebound tipped over, though, and Okafor is there for the putback at the offensive end. And the Huskies build a 6-point lead.
With all of his hops and quicks, he's 3rd on the team in dunks. As you can see, he's very confident with a tough touch shot right there, about a 7-footer.
Miami on this same floor fell behind Boston College by 10 in the last game. Rallied to take the lead, then lost in the end. You were here, Bucky.
Yes, indeed. That was a weird game. The last Miami lead 3-2, and they didn't lead again until about 6 minutes to go.
Ron Butler. James Jones is called for goaltending, but it still was impressive. As the big guy for the Hurricanes sent another back, but it was on the way down.
The Huskies relentless, coming to that iron.
James Jones is a standout. You talk to their coaches, they say he ranks right up there with their very best players because he gives you everything, and he's at his best in the big game. Hammonds goes down low to Darius Rice. They quickly double him up, and he gets it back out. And here is Simmons in the game. Michael Simmons. Up to Maker. Doesn't shoot it that much.
This time the Huskies keep being kept on defense. Miami likes that quick shot. Now they're making them work.
There's the quick shot. But Rice can't get the three to go. A battle for the ball. And we have a tied-up ball. This time the possession arrow points to the Huskies' end. So Connecticut takes over the ball.
Mike Hayes off that bench. Jim Calhoun, not one to play a lot of people, has gone to the bench early tonight. Gordon coming in, he is the first sub, and he brings you energy and speed. Calhoun's hoping that Mike Hayes will give him some strength inside.
Raphael Baruman comes into the game for James Jones. Ben Gordon in the back line, number 4. He had a tremendous game at Arizona, 23 points. Now it's a move to the basket, and the ball is lost.
Well, Miami now, they're making some stops on defense, but they got to score. This is exactly the kind of plateau, the kind of wall they hit against BC. They just kept shooting jump shots. Shot 29% for the game. Despite the fact they shot 96 from the foul line, it wasn't enough.
Huskies have been on an extended road trip. They'll be getting back on their home floor the next time out in a big one at the Hartford Civic Center against the Friars of Providence. And earlier today, Providence was a winner. Very impressive victory for Providence as they beat Boston College 64-61.
Well, the last time that Connecticut played Providence, it was at Providence, and they held the Friars to 29% in their own building. That's how good this gang can play defense.
Hammonds at the free throw line, drops it. Connecticut holding to a 7-point lead early. So the Huskies, who fell behind, had problems with that their last time out and losing to Boston College. Troubled by it again tonight. Three-point shooting. Here's a free ball thrown up by Ben Gordon. Rebound down to Baruman. Outlet goes to Michael Simmons. He's quick. Dish to Salmons, and he's left free for a 3-shot. That's no good. So both teams, marksmen way off from long range, and now driving to the hoop and a reject. Let's see what we have here. Like a foul call is signaled against Miami.
I think it was Simmons underneath. I'm not...
It is Simmons. There is Michael Simmons from Los Angeles. A defensive stopper, but right now his foul sends Ben Gordon to the free throw line. This guy's going to be a star, Ben Gordon. Games is into the ball game. Now comes Scott Hazelden for Connecticut. Ben Gordon at the free throw line led Mount Vernon New York High School to a 28-0 record last season and the New York State Championship. And Gordon with the free throw now builds the Huskies lead to 16-8. 11:34 left to go in the first half. And Terry Clark needs to counsel his team and get him back in this game. Early problems for the Canes. Timeout. Paul D., the athletic director for the Hurricanes on the left, presented a national championship plaque to Larry Coker, a guy who waited till his 53rd year before getting a head coaching job. And all his first team did was win every game of the national championship. What a year for the Canes. Well, Vince Lombardi never got his first head coaching job at any level in football till he was 48. His first head coaching job at any level in football was the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I heard of him. Who was that guy at Notre Dame? Faust came out of high school to be a head coach at Notre Dame. Boy, was that a reach, huh?
They did it twice. They had Terry Brennan also years ago. Jim Calhoun. Now this coaching assemblage of the Huskies are all coaching this game hard. This is a most important game. These two teams will be vying for the top seed in the Big East tournament March 6th through 9th. The ConAgra Big East Championship. Baruman with a good bounce pass low. Rice throws up a hope. Ball's tipped up, and they wave it off. John Hughes says no. You got a blocking foul underneath.
So far, Darius Rice is playing in a tuxedo out there. He's chucking, ducking, gliding, flipping. He needs to get tough. He had 16 points against BC, but it's not enough. It's not enough. He's got more talent to give, and he's got to get down in that paint. Here's a guy 6'10" who is shooting an incredible percentage. He shoots 85, I'm sorry, he shoots 77% from the foul line, and he just doesn't get to the line.
Now he's a 6'10", but he's primarily a perimeter player.
Yeah.
He likes the outside. As mentioned, he leads the team with 44 threes. And now a turnover, and Talik Brown with the errant pass, and the ball comes back over to the Miami Hurricanes. Down 16-8. 10:54 to play in the first half. The season wearing on. Team's starting to run out of road now. We move into February.
It's the second time around the league. Boy, you better have a B and C, because these coaches, all of them are good, are going to take your A game away.
Well, as Jim Calhoun says, Bucky, stay with the defense and the offense will come. Nothing travels like good defense. Shooting comes and goes for everybody. Very important these games, particularly for Connecticut, like winning at Arizona, winning on the road, because the NCAA tournament is played on the road.
And Miami, one of the very best. In fact, they are the best road team in the Big East. They're 20-9. The road record since 98-99 in the Big East. That's outstanding.
Yeah, they've been the best on the road over the last 3 seasons. Johnny Selby coming up court with the ball. UConn looking to extend an 8-point lead. Here's Ben Gordon, who gets better game by game. Loop pass down low to Okafor. They quickly collapse on that. They've worked hard to shut off the paint in their practice drills. They've been getting beat down low a lot, Miami. A lot of times because Rice tends to stay away from the basket. Now a reject by Okafor. Give him a block. Talik Brown, super quick, moving the ball down court. Stolen by Salmons. Salmons ahead of the pack. Two for the Canes, down by 6.
Ben Gordon put a little too much flash in it down there. He needs to get under control when he gets to that free throw line. Sometimes when you have too much speed, it gets you in trouble. Oh, Talik Brown off the hook again. There are a lot of talented, big, quick white shirts down in that paint. I think Connecticut needs to think about a little pull-up game. It's just going to be tough to get down in there. Again, Calhoun turning his players over, going deep.
Inbounds, the ball comes now. Working on the outside is Ben Gordon, a freshman, but he plays like a veteran. He'll shoot the ball from long range.
Oh, he's got great deep three, yeah.
Got hit for 23 at Arizona. Now 3 ball is no good. Rebound comes down, and James Jones goes to work at the defensive end and gets the ball. Salmons to Elton Tyler. Rebound to Okafor.
The Canes getting good looks, but it's one and done.
And they're getting nothing in the way of offensive rebounds, and now Johnny Selby strokes a left-handed jumper off the baseline.
Boy, that's the second J he's shown us tonight, Don. Mostly when Selby gets a ball, it's just like the rim is a magnet. He just goes at it. You wanna catch up with Selby, wait at the rim. He'll be there momentarily.
That's his office down low. He's not going to be out taking the 20-footers. There is the guy that's really coming of age, Okafor, as Baruman goes out of the game for the Canes. We're coming to you from the Miami Arena. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. UConn and the Miami Hurricanes, 2 ranked teams from the Big East. A big game in the Big East tonight, as this is the rematch. They met a month ago, January 5th, at Storrs, Connecticut. And Connecticut rallied with 2 free throws with less than 6 seconds to play by Johnny Selby to win it by 1.
Interesting, off the dead ball, Connecticut came out in that 2-3, which they match up and trap, do a lot of things from it. Perry took one peek at it and said, timeout. These veteran coaches like to show you new things during the first half, just expose you to them for a play or two, a possession or two, just to see how you react, so they have a good picture if they have to come back with it in the second half.
Here's some top 25 scores. Kansas, a tremendous team. They might be a team that certainly can contend with Duke the way they've been playing lately.
Yeah, very similar. Talented, quick. Kansas may be a little deeper.
Marquette with an upset over Cincinnati, 74-60 today. These are afternoon scores. Florida, an easy winner over Mississippi State. Number 6 Gators, a hard team to figure. Oklahoma, a team that can be very good, beating Texas in overtime. Down low, the ball goes to Tyler. I don't know what that was, but didn't go in. But the follow-up is put back by Jones. The Miami shooting, Lucky, not a thing of beauty at this early stage.
Jones leads that team in rebounds and blocks. He is your basic blue-collar guy. He's got range, puts it on the floor both ways. I like him.
Selby, who's hit 2 jumpers, misses that one, and now Robertson with a good play. Bangs it off the leg of John Selmans. It comes back inbounds to the Huskies. Coach Clark pleading a point there.
Didn't have any trouble being heard.
7:58 to go in the first half, and Jim Calhoun and his Huskies hold to a 6-point lead. To the Miami Arena, the Miami Kings in football. Who was better? They were playing on the wrong day, some people thought. Good enough to play on Sundays at 1. And there's Larry Coker, who we mentioned a moment ago, in his first year coaching a national championship team. And here is Larry. What a fantastic year. Great way to start a head coaching career.
Unbelievable, Don. Just a great run. Just a great team effort. Really was.
Well, Wednesday's a huge day for people in college football. It's National Letter of Intent signing, and they say the Canes are coming in strong again.
We're going to be strong. We're going to have a great year. We've got to hold on to who we have committed, but we expect to have a great day on Wednesday.
Coach, with Steve Spurrier going on to play on Sundays, that won't take away from your incentive at all. I mean, well, you're going to have to find somebody else to chase, huh?
Well, I'll tell you what, with Coach Spurrier leaving the state, he's such a personality. We're going to miss Steve Spurrier. We really are.
It might be a little dull, but I know the Canes will remain good.
Larry, as you look at the season, did you, I know you knew you were going to be good, but did you know you'd be that good?
Well, Don, we felt like we could have an excellent football team, but you never know that you're going to win 12 games, and we knew we had a chance to be very good and to win each week, but just a great run. We thought we'd have an excellent team.
Well, you've seen a lot of great quarterbacks. How does your current quarterback rank with the great ones at Miami over the years?
Well, I tell you, I think he ranks right with the great quarterbacks. He reminds me a lot of Steve Walsh and of Bernie Kosar, especially physically looks a lot like Bernie. He's a very cerebral quarterback like both those players.
Who's your opener? First step back to defend the championship.
Well, we've got to open up. We actually had Florida scheduled first, but we picked up Florida A&M in the Orange Bowl, and then we traveled to the Swamp to play the University of Florida for the second game. We did not want to open up with Florida without a test.
Smart coach.
There are people, Larry Coker, who speculate that the Canes might be as good next year as they were this season when they were unbelievable. What's the coach's assessment of the team?
Now, we're going to have an excellent team. We have some very good players coming back. We lost 3 juniors that we're going to miss, but we have some good football players. And I don't think complacency is going to be a problem. These kids really have already started working on their own. They're in the weight room now, and they're excited about being able to defend their title.
And I think another interesting aspect over the years from Miami, some of their successful teams kind of had a certain swagger to them that didn't appeal to a lot of people. Your team didn't have that. They just played great football and conducted themselves magnificently.
Well, we appreciate that, and that's been a great tribute to our players, because that's been the comment throughout the country, and we're very proud of that. You know, it's a total thing. It's a student athlete, and our players have conducted themselves well, and we're very, very proud of that.
And then, of course, you have Brock Berlin, was the high school quarterback of the year. He's transferred down. Of course, he won't be able to play this year, but he will work out with you, won't he?
He will work out. He is here now going through our program. He's in school, and just a terrific young man. We feel like he's going to be a great addition to our program.
Well, Larry Coker, continued success, and thanks for coming by, and we'll look for a lot more Canes W's next season. I'm sure you're going to have them.
Well, I think we'll have a good team, and we're excited about it. We're going to have to do some scoring here in our basketball game. We're excited about this team. We have an excellent team.
Well, a lot of people are happy for you, an awful lot of people, because you waited a long time. You're talking about Vince Lombardi. Never got a head coaching job on any level until he was 48, and his first head coaching job was the Packers. And your first head coaching job in college football, of course, this year. Coach of the Year, national championship. Just fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that, Don. This is a great place to be, and we'd like to have a great run here for a long time.
And a great tribute to Big East football. We all hear about Big East basketball, but the Big East has got a tremendous football conference.
Well, we do. We're lost only one game in our bowls. I think we were 5-1 in bowl games this year, and I believe this is 2 out of 3 years that we've been in national championship games. Virginia Tech was in a few years ago.
Coach, would you like to have a couple of these 6'10" guys who can run with good hands, maybe as split flankers or whatever?
Well, I'm here recruiting. This is a fun time, but I'm actually recruiting too. These guys have got to play football. They can't just play basketball at this university.
That I believe. Now looking at that Connecticut bench over there, Jim Calhoun, took him, what, 14 years to win a national championship, so you're way ahead.
Took John Wooden that long. I mean, people,
that's right.
What did he win, 10 and 11 years, but it took John Wooden. I think it took him longer than 14 years at UCLA. He was there a long time, and then all of a sudden, the national championship started rolling in. Right now, Okafor goes low, and the ball is put up and down by Caron Butler, and the Connecticut Huskies hold to a 22-16 lead as we're under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
They laid off Okafor and gave him plenty of time to measure that pass. When you see that easy a pass to the post, there's no pressure on the ball.
Elton Tyler, jump shot from the free throw line. And the Canes inch closer. They've been down by 8 twice in this game.
The score in Connecticut was 76-75. And either the defense or the warm weather has got these guys not running at that clip.
Now Johnny Selby, who's feeling it, he's hit 3 or 4 jump shots tonight, and he again extends the UConn lead to 6.
Oh. That one got the crowd in it.
4:15 left to play in Connecticut with a 24-20 lead, and John Salmons goes to the free throw line. To get information on your favorite Big East team, go online at www.bigeast.org for all the basketball and conference news from around the Big East. Now we have the ball at the hands of the UConn Huskies, and there goes Ben Gordon as he is sent back. Elton Tyler sent that back. Salmons leads the break. And John Salmons taking over the offensive control, and they need him to do that as he drives hard to the basket.
Boy, it hasn't been pretty, but Miami has just muscled and clawed its way back in there. They're getting the defensive stops. Again, their problem has been scoring. The Huskies play a very definitive defense as well, but neither team can get control here. It's as we predicted, very even.
Inbounds, the ball goes to Jones. And now Barnes on the outside. Marcus Barnes, a good distance shooter, has hit 44 threes. But he hasn't got many looks tonight. Now Jones pulls up. It rims out. He was looking for a three-point play, didn't get the shot. He will go to the line and shoot 2. Big James Jones, who is, among his other attributes, an 80% free throw shooter. Calhoun's wondering where the foul was, or where something was.
He's smiling, but he's not happy. Jim Calhoun is an amazing guy, tough competitor. I don't think he has ulcers, but throughout his career in the Big East, he's sure distributed a few.
Well, he is a very high standard, and he tells his players when he recruits him, Calhoun, you come here not just to win games, you come here to win championships. They set the bar high, and he continues to raise the bar with every team, and he really likes this team, which right now has seen his lead cut to 2. A guy who's having a big night for the Huskies is Johnny Selby, showing off that left-handed jumper with success on 3 hits. Let's take a look at the Hyundai game summary. There it is. You see the shooting numbers. Connecticut 41% from the field. Not a lot going on at the free throw line, nor from the arc. In fact, Miami, Bucky, nothing at all.
Miami 0 for 7, and Rice, who has really got to step up for this team offensively, is 1 for 7 for the night. And yet, as we look at that scoreboard, the Canes are only down 2. That's the good news.
Well, expected to be close like it was the last time, and now a drive to the rack, and the big dog, they call him. Baruman comes down with a defensive board. Long lead. Barnes fires. Miami takes the lead.
Marcus Barnes, an explosive player, was only 1 for 8 against BC. They sorely missed his offense.
Ron Butler dishes off. Billy Brown is quickly grabbed, and Baruman grabs him. Baruman is a big contributor. Not flash stats by any means. 4.4 point a game score. But he does the digging, the setting of picks, the blocking out, the rebounding, the things that help you win 18 games, which Miami's done so far against just 3 losses. A drive. Getting rough down there now. Yahweh fighting for the ball, number 14. And the ball will come inbounds to Connecticut as a freshman Ben Gordon comes back in the game. People really like him, Bucky. Ben Gordon.
He's really exciting. He's got afterburners. He's just got to learn to control that speed, but he's got a very deep 3, and he's a blazer.
Connecticut, a team with a lot of team speed, and they have in their big men. Okafor can really run the floor. So can Butler. Now Gordon, he's shut off and goes back out, and they start over with Talik Brown.
Well, crowd's appreciating the Hurricanes defense. They got their hands full.
Got clock down to 5 on a driving shot. Rebound to Yahweh, and here come the Canes. Down by 8 twice, leading by 1. James Jones pulls up. Missed it all, but they got James on the arm, and he'll shoot 2. Ron Butler, his coach Jim Calhoun says he's only going to get better because he'll accept nothing less.
Boy, he's exciting. He's one of the bright young players, only a sophomore, first team All Big East, and he is the whole package.
James Jones at the free throw line, as mentioned earlier, an 80% free throw shooter. And now let's take a moment to thank our corporate partner, Cooper Tire. Proud to be the official tire of the Big East Conference. Cooper Tires, drive on.
The one hole in Caron Butler's game is he's only a 29% three-point shooter, but he's got that good mid-range J, great speed, and he's averaging 19 a game.
And he's tough to beat in the classroom also, Bucky. James Jones, a junior, he's already taking courses in the master's program in finance.
Guys like that make coaches very uncomfortable when they're bigger than they are and smarter than they are.
Earlier scores today in the Big East. Georgetown beat West Virginia 84-77 at home. Hoyas winning on the home floor. And Providence edging Boston College at the Dunkin' Donuts Arena 64-61. Friars dunking some donuts today.
Well, the last time the Friars played Connecticut, they couldn't find a hole. We mentioned that the Huskies shut the Friars down with 29% field goal defensive percentage. Terry Clark working on that gum pretty good. Had a great run at Tulane. Former assistant at Georgia Tech. Paid his dues.
He did. Played at DeMatha High School under Morgan Wooten. Baruman's already picked up 3 as Caron Butler at the free throw line gets the second. He is a 79% free throw shooter and a 19-point a game scorer. John Salmon comes back in the game.
Salmons hasn't done much posting up against the Connecticut man for man. I think that's respect for Okafor and Selby, who can come over and help.
Bounce pass, and here is Elton Tyler left free, doesn't take it. Salmons defended by Butler. Down low, and now Tyler gets it where he wants it. He's blocked. Okafor again gets a piece of this guy at 6'9", is so quick. Magnificent young player. Drive to the basket. Doesn't go. And away with the ball again is the big guy. JR, they call him, James Jones. Butler goes for the steal. That frees up a three-point look, but Simmons doesn't take it. He instead drives, and Michael Simmons, the defensive stopper, puts up his first 2 of the night.
Boy, is he quick. He leads this team in assist-turnover ratio at 1.8, which is very, very good. A junior college player playing his first year, but it was a study in concentration that time. I wonder where Okafor was.
Boy, I tell you, Okafor is not just the blocks, it's the threat of a block. He alters a lot of shots, even when he's not going to get it. That time, James Jones altered one, sent it right back. And Connecticut banging down low. That's Okafor, the freshman from Bel Air, Texas. Guy with 72 blocks coming into this game. 4 blocks a game he's averaging.
Well, that Connecticut defense is tough. They don't make a lot of steals. They make it very difficult for you to penetrate. Salmon showing he can go inside and out. Started as a freshman, 5 points a game, and he's just kept working. Right now, he's clearly the leader at both ends of the floor. 13 points, 6 boards, 85% free throw shooter. He's the go-to guy.
Salmon's one of the best all-around players in the Big East Conference, in truth, in any conference. And here he is. He sees a look, knocks it down.
All the way from suburban Philly.
And you know what he aspires to be, Bucky, upon graduation?
What's that?
After professional basketball, I'm sure he's hoping, a sports agent. Now, I don't want you to draw any parallels from this, but his major at Miami is criminology.
I'm not going there.
I did not.
Well, I'm not. I'm nonplussed there. I tell you what, if he walked up and said sign, I think I would. I believe I would.
From Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania.
That's a nice part of Philly. Kane's in a 3/4 court soft press, dropping back. Looks like man for man. We'll need to see a few cuts here first. Not sure. Now looks like they're matching up 2-3. One of the things that Miami can do is go 1-3-1 with Darius Rice or Jones at the top, and it, you know, at 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", makes a very tough pass over.
And now as Tyler starts up the floor with the ball, a foul is called on Connecticut. Johnny Shelby hacked at him, trying to get the ball away. And that will send the Canes to the free throw line with a 5-point lead looking to build on. So Jim Calhoun has seen an 8-point lead evaporate. And with just 4 seconds left in the half, Miami in position to go into the locker room perhaps with a 7-point lead. If he can hit them both. Excuse me, Buck.
Yeah, Perry Clark showed that 3/4 court press back to his zone, and it just got the Huskies standing still. They have really gone cold.
Inbounds, the ball comes to Caron Butler, who fires and almost knocked it down. Looking there at about a 60-foot three-pointer. But Miami's Hurricanes go to the locker room to a standing ovation here at the Miami Arena as they come from behind 8 points down and take a 32-27 lead at the half. We'll be back to check on the Big East with the Big East Wire in a moment. We're back and set to go at halftime here at the Miami Arena. Looking at block shots, Bucky, even more impressive than Okafor is James Jones. He sent 5 back for Miami.
Return to sender. Somebody should have left tickets for Elvis Presley here. It's going both. Wow, get out of there. Get. They're teething on the rim. Okafor gets rejected. It's a block party. Tell me it's intense in there. Here comes John Salmons out of the pack, number 5. He had 11 points to lead the Canes. Very solid. Darius Rice 1 for 7. Not much help on the offensive end. There's Caron Butler, who had seven big ones. And inside, watch the force. Okafor, who went for 8 points and 4 rejects and 7 rebounds. That's a career. Stick around. We got more.
Miami Arena. The UConn Huskies have won 8 of 10 since that 18-point loss to St. Bonaventure. Currently trailing by 5 after the Huskies led by 8 twice in the first half. Miami off to the best start when they started this season 18-2, the best start in over 40 years of University of Miami basketball.
Back to Rick Barry in that gang. Used to come down here and play those guys, and the referees were always really tan. And it was 5-on-7. And Barry didn't need any help. He was very good in college as well.
I tell you, I never saw anything like it. I saw his senior numbers. He averaged like 17 rebounds or something.
He's a heck of a player.
And 37 points.
Yep. And his father-in-law to be was Bruce Hale, the coach.
So he got a lot of touches.
Yeah. there's nothing about nepotism, but it was a family thing.
Ball was in his hands, and with good reason. And now driving to the basket, Talik Brown. He's cut off. Robertson looking to attack. Down low to Selvey, and quickly kicked out to Robertson. Good pack-in defense by the Canes. They're jamming off that lane. But Okafor's left free from about 10 feet out, and he smoothly strokes the ball out. Another tremendous student. Emeka Okafor. Now a 3-point game, and a whistle stops play at the Miami end.
Boy, the Big East coaches that are watching this game, when you see Okafor back out and hit that little 10-12 footer, man, that's the whole package. He's already proven what he can do inside. And by the way, he had a triple-double against Arizona. I don't care what the stat crew out there said. They gave him 9 boards, and he had like 15 rebounds and 24 points. Everybody that counted that said he had 12 or 13 block shots, which would have put him in the triple-double category. However, accounting seems to be topical now.
Well, that was out in Tucson.
Yes.
Yeah, the local scorer. Here is Talik Brown getting the ball down low to Caron Butler. There's nothing on the baseline for Caron Butler, who had some early slashes to the basket, you'll remember, but since then they've kept him out. Now as he starts to the basket, a foul is called on Miami. Darius Rice gets the personal.
Not having a good night is Darius.
That can change quickly, though. As you know, Bucky,
Yeah.
Darius Rice can really light it up. And now the Huskies come right back and trail by 1 after the putback.
Okafor doesn't need many passes. Boy, he gets everything off the glass.
Bodies on the floor. Ball to the Huskies. Lead pass goes down low. Caron Butler puts it up. Next hoop, if the Canes can get it, the Huskies get it, will give them the lead, and it does as UConn takes the lead 33-32.
Intensity really picked up both ends of the floor. Miami, especially coming out of the half, have really turned the heat up on their defense.
Darius Rice. Here's Salmons, who had 11 first-half points. First try of the second half. He's looking for a foul call. Not coming, and here come the Huskies on the run. Selvey's been jump shooting from this range.
Canes doing a nice job in their transition defense. So far, they've kept Connecticut off stride and into a low-scoring half-court team, which is not their strength.
Reject by Tyler. Here comes Salmons as he loses the ball, but is picked up by teammate James Jones, who pulls up. Rattles it out. Rebound to the Huskies. Racehorse basketball. Butler with a dish. Caron Butler. And then the putback by Selvey, and the ball will turn over to Miami.
Wow. That was wild. Steal, re-steal. I'm telling you, it's not possible. Both these teams can play a lot better. I'm not sure they can play harder. They can play a lot smarter, however. Butler just seems like he's all over the floor. He's getting touches, getting shots, getting steals. He can't get it to go down. That could have been a charge. There's Johnny Selvey, the transfer, soaring over everybody. And now the Canes going down inside.
And the Canes take back the lead on Elton Tyler's putback.
Dorchester, Mass.
A low post score, and he demonstrates it there, getting the pass, putting it down. Here comes Salmons. Miami with a transition game. Salmons and James Jones have been the difference makers for the Canes. Rice continues to, now he does get a roll and knocks it down. So finally some points for Darius Rice, who has just 4 points for the game. 2 of 8 shooting the ball. Miami taking a 3-point lead, 36-33. Still waiting for the big production from Darius Rice. Miami Arena, Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. 16:49 to go in the game as the Canes lead the Huskies by a 3-point margin. As we look at the Big East standings, Connecticut coming into the game with a 2-game lead on Miami in the loss column. Boston College falling to 4-4 with a loss at Providence today. That's in the East Division. As now we go back to live action.
Out of the timeout, Canes extending that man-for-man a little bit, which is going to open it up for dribble penetration. Great effort on the offensive board.
Okafor playing that skilled inside game. Hard to believe he's only a freshman, so smooth in every aspect of the game. And now Darius Rice has the ball knocked away from him. As here's a look at the conference standings in the West of Big East play. Syracuse at 6-2. Pitt with a win today, 7-3. Notre Dame at 4-3. Georgetown with a win at 5-4. Got from the outside is short. Here comes Ben Gordon, the freshman, leading to Talik Brown, just a sophomore, and Hayes can't get to the pass. The Big East announced Monday that Conagra Foods is now the title sponsor of the Conagra Foods Big East Men's Basketball Championship, to be played March 6th through the 9th at Madison Square Garden. Always a great event, and one that Connecticut has enjoyed extraordinary success in. Connecticut, the team of the 90s in Big East play, including a national championship. And now Darius Rice lets it go long distance. The man who hit 4 3-pointers in the 1-point loss at UConn gets his first of the night.
First guy since Eric Brown back. Oh man, when Eric Brown in '89 to go back-to-back 30 and 32 points. And so far he has been silent, and the Canes with defense and some balance have been hanging around. Watch this guy set up. He squares up, gets that big body going, and a great rotation.
The referees have now gone to the official scores table. They want to see the last shot. I think they want to look at his feet and see that they were behind the arc line, the 3-point line. Darius Rice has come to a screeching halt. As only videotape can do. Now they're taking a look.
Right there, something most of the Big East teams haven't been able to do.
Here he comes out, jumps behind the line beautifully, fakes. You got those size 18s. It's kind of tough to keep him off the line. Oh, does he have a little bit of it?
I don't know.
I think he might.
He's got the body fat of lettuce. I know one thing. It wasn't a bulge going over there. Look at that great release. Look at how high.
Yeah, he's a beautiful shot.
But the way he plays, most of the time he could be 6'4" or 6'5". Seldom does he really take advantage. And again, we make that point. He's only shot 63 free throws the entire season. What, 21 games? And with his quickness and size, he should be putting people down on the bench with personal foul problems. Plus, as a 77% free throw shooter, he ought to be on that line.
And he's only a sophomore, as they say. He's also his second favorite game to basketball is chess. And he comes from a great athletic family. His dad was an All-American football player at Jackson State in the Southwest Conference, Southwest Athletic Conference. The SWAC, where so many great teams and great players have come from.
2-1-2 pressure right now by the Hurricanes. Trying to keep Connecticut out of rhythm. Connecticut elects not to attack it, but set up.
Hayes on the outside, looking only to pass, and he's being harassed by Elton Tyler. And Gordon, defended by the 6'10" Darius Rice. We're going to put him in the air with the ball fake. Can't do it. Now he launches. And the rebound comes down to Okafor, loses it though, and here comes Marcus Barnes. And as Darius Rice gets the ball and starts to head for the basket, he is hacked on the arm by number 4. That's freshman Ben Gordon getting the personal foul. Ball back inbound to the Canes.
Ben Gordon has a tendency with his great speed to get down in there too deep, and last time he tried to go around Darius Rice and he ended up looking at Elton Tyler, who is 6'9", and it was like a full eclipse. I mean, he could not see out of there. Ben's got to pull up, get a little mid-range game. He's got the deep three, he's got the speed, he just needs that middle portion.
Here's Darius Rice, takes a look, and there's no room to go against Karan Butler. Those two have been playing against each other. Darius was telling me before the game, Bucky, since they were in AAU basketball as kids years ago.
Well, one's from Wisconsin and one's from Mississippi. They're both sophomores and they both ooze with talent.
Gosh. National AAU tournaments. Barnes goes down low. John Selmans, who's been very effective, pulling up. Again, he says he was hit on the arm. But the rebound comes to Connecticut.
Selvey, who had such a good first half, not getting many touches in the second half, Don.
No, he's not. UConn with the ball. They've been in postseason play 14 straight years of the Huskies of Connecticut. And now Karan Butler strokes a jump shot. And it's a one-point game, Miami. Butler with 9 points for the Huskies. Down low to Tyler. He heads to the basket. And an offensive foul is called on him.
Good weak side defense that time by Connecticut.
Coach Clark despondent over the call. Coach Clark told me the way you win all season long is you win at home and steal a few on the road, he says.
Well, you know, we talked about that early. Miami has been the great road team since 1998-99. They've done a terrific job.
Down low, and Johnny Selvey with bodies banging gets the ball off glass.
He was 3 for 5 in the first half, and he just kind of got away from him.
And the Huskies take the lead, 39-38. Karan Butler, 4 of 13 shooting the ball tonight with 9 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist. The lead scorer for the Huskies.
Not a lot of patience in that Miami offense right now, but Jones putting it on the floor, goes to the line, and I would encourage Darius Rice to do likewise.
See the field goal percentage in the second half. UConn hitting 50% in the second half. Here's James Jones, who's been a major contributor tonight. Talking to one of the coaches, Dwight Freeman, before the game, he said another amazing thing about Jones is he doesn't look at what he said. He's physically powerful. He's very, very strong.
6'7", and strong and quick, and an 82% free throw shooter. Boy, are they rare now.
And as a junior, taking master's program courses in finance. So James comes with the whole package.
He could be his own agent, right?
Here's Talik Brown gunning the ball over to Karan Butler. Too much on it for Selvey. Good fight for the ball by Tony Robertson, and the Huskies keep the ball. Down by 1. Game settling down to a position half-court game. A good ball fake with the eye-in-the-back move. Selvey puts it up. Tyler got a piece, and Johnny Selvey won't be denied. The putback by Selvey of his own miss gives Connecticut the lead.
Boy, Talik Brown was lucky. He blew through there. None of the Canes stepped up, or that play would have been over.
Now John Cale blows the whistle before the shot. Foul call on Johnny Selvey will bring the ball inbounds, and Johnny Selvey will come to the bench as Okafor comes back in now for UConn. When you talk about great basketball, you got to talk about the UConn women. #1 in America again. The last 2 women's national championship teams have come out of the Big East. Notre Dame last season, UConn the year before, and UConn the favorite to do it again under Coach Gino Auriemma.
Both of these teams now just flying at the rim. Murray Clark saying, I got him back there. He's one of the things he felt was really important tonight was transition defense. Can't let Connecticut get out there with numbers and beat you down the floor with those blazing guards. Well, his big guys have struck back there, but it's one thing to get back there, and it's another thing to take those blue darts coming at you.
And they've been coming as some counsels given on the sideline to Johnny Selvey. At the free throw line is Tony Robertson, the junior guard from East Providence, Rhode Island, an 85% free throw shooter. So the Huskies feel good about Robertson when he's at the stripe, looking for charity. Beautiful stroke. He gets 2, and the Huskies now have a 3-point lead. Darius Rice looking on from the bench. Jones rims it in and out. Here comes Tony Robertson for Connecticut. All the way through. Loses the handle. Selling hard, and they rule it was off Marcus Barnes. Miami with 9 block shots in this game. UConn has 5 blocks. Rebounds are about even in the game so far. Baruman comes out high. You know he's not going to launch him out there. He can set a mean pick, though, which he does. Frees up Marcus Barnes. Ooh. And Marcus Barnes, the sophomore from Miami Senior High School, a fierce competitor. A 31-point-a-game scorer as a senior, a Miami senior. Knocks it down.
He got 24 against Connecticut as a freshman last year. They know he can shoot.
Now we have a big body, that of Hayes on the floor. Mike Hayes knocked down. As the clock is stopped with 11:40 left to play in the game, and the game is tied at 43. Y'all, and an extended traveling party from the Waters family is here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's my son-in-law Scott there. They live in Tampa. That's Caleb to his right and Nick to his right. And going back the other way, my wife Dottie, and that's Nicholas. And they are all eyes and ears. I won't say that my daughter went to Florida State. I wouldn't want to put a lot of pressure on her.
Well, you got, what, 12 grandchildren? So they can take up a role, this Waters family.
They got quick hands at the dinner table, yeah.
Now whistle again stops play. A very hard played game. Art Highland, who is the coordinator of Big East officiating, is here, and he talks about the main focus of these really terrific officials they have working these games is to allow physical play, but to eliminate rough play.
Well, it always gets to the point where it's advantage, disadvantage. So many times it looks like a lot of contact, but if there's no advantage gain, they like to let them play. There's nothing worse than a lot of timeouts at the end of the game and a lot of free throw shooting, unless it's warranted. I think that the end of that BC Providence game today, timeout, timeout, timeout. I think we really need to do something because we get to the dramatic part of our game and we see a rain of timeouts. Let the kids decide it.
Rebound comes out to Marcus Barnes. He is a real quick player, and Barnes driving, but can't get the jump shot to go. Working hard, and the rebound is off now, and here come the Huskies driving, and it is Tony Robertson to the basket.
Double clutching. Oh, nearly again, nearly giving up that charge, but managed to knife through there. Took Tony to his junior year to start, but he's having a terrific year.
And he gives the Huskies the lead back.
What makes him so tough, too, Don, shoots 51% from 3.
Yeah.
So you got to come get him.
Yeah, tremendous. He's one of the best in the country at three-point shooting, 51%, which equates to over 75% twos.
Oh, we got a good one here. We've got 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go, and these teams are just now honing in with rhythm.
And we're pretty much at square one, all even up with 10 minutes to go in the game. Maybe more. Could be an OT. Here's a long ball. Comes off. Selvey with the offensive rebound. Huge play by Selvey. And then the hard move to the basket will send Johnny Selvey to the free throw line.
Will Frisbee trying to pick up some real estate down that baseline, but with the quicks of Connecticut, once they get down that baseline, you're in huge trouble if your weak side doesn't take the charge. Perry Clark has been resting Darius Rice because he's not having a good night offensively. Looks like he's getting ready to come in over there. And I know this crowd in the Miami arena very anxious for him to come in and assert himself as the offensive leader of this team.
Johnny Shelby only a 59% shooter from the three-point line. It just dropped a bit as he misses a chance to break the lead, but he'll get another one as Darius Rice comes back in.
But you know what was interesting? In the first game, he was fouled with 5 seconds to go. Shelby went to the line, and the Miami kids, and Connecticut was down 1. The Miami kids were giving him some chin music about choking, and he hit both of them, and that basically was the difference and gave Connecticut the win.
As we took a look at Selby shooting the rock, brought to you by Rolling Rock. Grab a rock. Rice out to Salmons. Here's Rice looking to build that scoring number, and now he just throws the ball to the basket. Tremendous move to the hoop. The hard-working Jaoué, born in the Ivory Coast. Rodrigue Jaoué will head to the free throw line. And that is not good news for Miami, because Rodrigue.
Boy, Perry Clark beside himself. He thought Rice get hit on this. Let's take a look. It was certainly an errant shot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, sure he got hit. Perry went a little ballistic, and again was being looked at askance by the official.
Jaoué hits the free throw, which is good news for Miami in that he is a 31% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
But now he's looking like a champion up there.
Look at that.
He's found the answer.
Yeah, and he's looking at the ball, which you shouldn't be doing, free throw shooters. You keep your eye on the target. Don't follow the flight of the ball.
Oh, I see. He was watching the ball all the way in.
Yeah, yeah. And he's not supposed to, but it went in, so I'd keep doing the foul.
Yeah, he gave his team the lead. It's 47-46 Canes. Here come the Huskies. Robertson pulling up. And the lead switch is again, this time to Connecticut, 48-47. We're coming to you from the Miami Arena, a big game in the Big East on this Saturday night in February. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. Rebound off to Talik Brown of Connecticut.
I think Perry Clark would like a little more patience, little inside out, little penetration, kick out. That quick jump shot really allowing Connecticut to dig in there and get that inside possession and eliminate offensive rebounds. You got to move the defense a little bit.
Talik Brown working hard, somehow gets the ball back, looks to dish, and Okafor wasn't ready. Huskies lose it, Canes get it.
Again, those Connecticut guards barreling down in there with 6-8 people all in the paint, and just excessive turnovers.
Darius Rice, you see an off-shooting night for Darius Rice. He lit up the Huskies for 22 points in that game a month ago at Storrs, Connecticut. This is the rematch. First one won by UConn, 76-75. Michael Simmons drives it down from long distance, and he gives the Canes the lead, 49-48.
That's the inside out the Canes are looking for. Collapse the defense, kick it out. Now you got a chance for an offensive rebound, making that defense move.
And another foul stops play, and the Canes pick up the personal foul to the dismay of Coach Clark. Into the free throw line goes Caron Butler.
Not look like a 79% free throw shooter on that one.
Last year as a freshman, Caron Butler led the Huskies in scoring, rebounding, and steals.
He's coming off a 20.7 board night at Piscataway when Connecticut only able to score 53 points. That coming off their great win. Great prestige for the conference, winning at Arizona.
Last foul was on Tyler, and now back at the other end. Look at them work down low.
Oh.
Rough.
You don't see that much from Miami, but that was a great move. Great position, great poise. Just put that big body right at the glass. Jaoué playing well off the bench.
Last 3 times he's put the ball in the air, they've gone in. 2 from the line and that inside shot. And it's a 2-point lead for the Canes.
Let's see if Miami goes back to him. Smart teams go to the hot hand.
Talik Brown fires long distance and strikes it down as Simmons came over. Looked almost like he was going to get a piece of the ball, but the high arc hits home, and it's a 52-51 game, Huskies.
High arc indeed. That ball had ice on it. Get this.
Gower's feeling it. They love the big guy here in Miami. A tough physical presence who often has foul trouble.
He has foul trouble. His opponents have bruise trouble. I mean, he doesn't lay on you lightly.
Malik Brown looking to go to Karan Butler. Darius Rice digging hard, fronting him, won't let him get the ball. Malik Brown to Selby, a reverse. And guess what? We have another lead change as the Huskies lead 54-53.
Great pass by Talik Brown. I just wish he wouldn't leave the floor all the time and figure out what he's going to do, because that was right on the money.
Yeah, you run out of options quickly when you leave the floor. Salmons gives it over to Simmons, a very astute ball handler, very sure with the ball. And now a timeout is called with 6:09 left to play. And the Huskies back on top, 54-53.
There's the play. Talik Brown drawing 3 white jerseys to him. Throws a diagonal pass back across the defense. Johnny Selby, number 44, barreling his way in there. And that was execution perfect. Looking back, we were talking about the quick shot by the Canes. Here's the play inside. Elton Tyler kicking the ball out, top of the key. Michael Simmons just nothing but net, and he had all the time in the world. So much easier than coming down and shooting that 3 over an outstretched hand.
Elton Tyler's been a big force tonight for the Hurricanes. He leads all scores with 18 points. Normally averages just below 11. He's picked up the slack of Rice, who gets the ball. Here is Darius Rice at 6'10" with a dribble. Now they come out to Ben Gordon to defend Salmons, which is tough to do. Salmons fires. The shot clock winds down, and he finds the range. And again, the lead changes hands. It virtually is changing every possession.
Karan Butler, a known offensive force, doing a nice job on Darius Rice. He's having trouble handling the ball in his comfort zone.
Everyone expecting a good one, and it's been all of that with a long way to go. 5:30 to play in the game.
2 top 20 teams. They've already played once, and it was a 1-pointer.
Simmons body checking, and he fouls Ben Gordon, the freshman standout, a top recruit. Gordon from Mount Vernon, New York.
Boy, they turned out some players over the years.
How about the Williams brothers, Gus Williams and Ray Williams? Al McGuire said the best player he ever had from an ability standpoint came from Mount Vernon. Earl Tatum.
Ooh, yeah.
Ben Gordon spent some time in junior college at Arkansas City Junior College after leading Mount Vernon to the state championship. Big and strong and very confident. He's a confident shooter. Boy, if it's there, he's going to launch, and with good results.
He's 42% from 3, and that's a very deep 3. This guy's a player.
And he gives the Huskies yet another lead. So the lead continues to change with every possession of the ball for the last 3 minutes.
Advanced Auto Parts, we believe in doing it yourself. So we made this commercial ourselves.
Back at the Miami Arena, it is now 56-55. Leading scores in the game. Elton Tyler leads all scores with 18 for the Canes. Salmons has 13, Jones 8, Rice and Barnes 6 each for Miami. Johnny Selby leads UConn with 15 points and 7 rebounds. Okafor has 12. Karan Butler with 10 points at this point in the game.
How tight is it? 5 ties, 12 lead changes, and we still have 5 minutes and change to go.
See the shooting percentages in the second half. Both teams hitting 50%. Taking that extra pass, I think, Bucky, and getting a better look.
For sure. And what's illogical in that is I think both teams are playing harder on the defensive end. I just think the offenses have been a little smarter. This guy's a player. Guards the toughest guy in the backcourt at 6'7".
And a guy who can really alternate on offense from a slash to the basket to a pull-up jumper. John Salmon.
Simmons now and Talik Brown trying to deny him, take him out of play, make somebody else be the playmaker. In this case, with this team on the floor, it's got to be this guy, Tony Robertson. That thumb down is an isolation play. They're going to put 4 on the baseline, and he's going to try to break his man down off the dribble until somebody picks him up. If nobody does, he shoots an air ball.
Yeah, Salmon's checked him
very well.
Long lead pass. Whoa! And the ball is slapped out of bounds. Last touch by Elton Tyler of Miami. The Huskies take over the ball.
Ooh, I'm not sure this whole arena could have handled it if Rice could have completed that alley-oop. The alley was fine, but the oop a little too close to the rim.
And out of bounds. So the turnover, and the ball is back in the hands of Caron Butler of UConn.
Simmons now allowing Talik Brown to handle that ball. I like the strategy of cutting him off.
He is the quarterback. He gets a lot of touches and uses a lot of bounces when he has with Talik Brown. Now the turnaround by Caron Butler, no good. Tyler with a rebound. Here comes Miami, leading by 1.
Connecticut's going away from their half-court offense. A lot of isolation plays, not a lot of movement, and this Hurricane defense not easy to break down. They're finding that out.
Long ball comes up short. Down with the ball is Caron Butler. Here's Talik Brown searching out an open man. Takes it himself. It's sent back by James Jones, but a whistle and a foul call stop play.
I'm sorry, Talik. You should pull that ball up. There were so many bodies down in there. There was no place to go or pass. You were fortunate.
Talik Brown, a high school All-American at St. John's Prep in New York. New York City goes to the free throw line where he shoots 67% from the line. And that's what both teams are shooting for the night, 67% from the line. Now a little bit less for UConn. The Huskies are 8 of 13 from the free throw line. Miami is 12 of 18.
Tony Robertson getting a little rest by Jim Calhoun, but he's a big shot player. You can bet he's going to be back in here like with 2 and under.
Still 3:43 left to play as there's a timeout on the floor, and the game is tied at 57 all. So it was a 1-point game a month ago, and the UConn Huskies managed to prevail. They could have another one tonight. Back to South Florida. I don't know what temperature is where you are, but in South Florida today it was in the 80s.
Oh, you had to rub it in, didn't you?
And sunny. And then a torrential downpour, but only for about, what, 15 minutes?
Yep, that's Florida. That was a good shot of South Beach out there. For those who aren't in here cheering for the Canes, are out there having stonecraft.
Not a bad place to be after the game over at Joe's. 3:28 left to go, 57-57 all. Jim Calhoun had a very interesting assessment of Miami before the season. He said there's really no superstars on the team, but he said Miami probably has the best starting 5 in the Big East, and that looks to be pretty much true with an 18-3 record coming into this game.
Indeed. Both of these teams, again, with just one senior playing, and very optimistic about the recruits coming in. So the future looks bright if you got stock in either one of these. Hold on.
2-point lead now for Miami. 3:20 left to play. And we welcome those of you who just joined us, as right now it's the UConn Huskies battling, trying to from behind, down 59-57. A game that has seen 14 lead changes. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters at the Miami Arena on a hot, humid night in South Florida. And Johnny Selby launches long distance and knocks it down, and we're tied again.
Selby, who does his best work in the paint tonight, has stepped out and just killed the Canes with that soft jumper.
Darius Rice goes down low to the John Salmons, and Rice rims it out. Here's a guy that hit 4 3-pointers in a 1-point loss to Connecticut a month ago. This is the rematch.
The Canes have had to make up for Darius Rice all night long. It has not been a good night, and Caron Butler's defense has been part of that.
Ben Gordon, a hard-driving freshman with a runner. Loops it up and in, and the Huskies take the lead, 61-59. Miami coming into this game with an 18-3 record. Jim Calhoun's Huskies 14-4. There is Perry Clark, the coach of Miami, who said before the game, we've got to match their intensity because we know they're going to go hard and go fast all game long. And for the most part, it's been that kind of a game. Not as many turnovers, Buck, as you'd expect from this intense defensive game.
No, both teams pretty much half court. There hasn't been much extended defense at all. The Canes showed a little trap, a little soft pressure, but most of all, it's been nose to nose. And if these teams have not shot well, I would have thought they had too much skin under their fingernails. There's been a lot of pride on the defensive end tonight.
Well, you observed earlier, you saw some guys actually teething on the rim.
Yeah.
Got some people who get up in the air, like this guy, Darius Rice, a tremendous sophomore player who, believe it or not, at 6'10", leads Miami in 3-point shots this season. Has hit 44 of them.
But he only shoots 63 free throws all year. Not physical enough, not getting to that line. And he's also not forcing, which is to his credit.
Salmons with a 3-point try. Too much on it, but Salmons finds the offensive rebound and he's fouled.
The hustle play, the hustle play. John Salmons, the 6'7" senior, got inside, followed his shot, and that is not making Jim Calhoun pleasant at all.
Both these teams in ill humor, both having great years, but coming off losses that weren't expected. Calhoun upset at Rutgers a couple of nights ago, and Miami with its first home loss the last time out, losing to Boston College here at the Miami Arena. And now Salmons in position to tie this game yet again. John Salmons, one of the most complete all-around players in college basketball. Leading defender, scorer, passer.
They run a lot through him. He's key. He can play any one of 5 positions, Don. This Miami crowd now on their feet.
It's been a big night here in Miami. Larry Coker, the coach of the national championship Miami Hurricane football team, was honored at halftime. And they're up and cheering now the Cane basketball team. 18-3 on the year. Locked in a tie on their home floor. Rebound comes down to Elton Tyler. And here come the Canes looking to take back the lead.
Boy, Tyler just muscled Okafor right out of there. That was senior versus freshman. That's all that was.
Marcus Barnes launches long distance. Goes tumbling back. No foul call. Elton Tyler with the putback. He is fouled. And we'll go to the free throw line. Big Elton Tyler, who despite his size, is a very good free throw shooter. Not a lot of big guys are. He hit 75%.
Yeah, and he's 40% from 3, and he looks like a bus. But out on the perimeter, he's shown us some Greyhound moves. Dorchester, Mass.
1:07 left to play. When they met at Storrs, Connecticut, as that Okafor is fouled out of the game. That is a leading player for the Connecticut Huskies. So he goes to the sideline. Their freshman, who has blocked 9 shots in each of the previous 2 games. So he's out. Okafor goes out, a tremendous defensive presence. And he's been effective offensively also tonight. Leading scorer in the game is the man of the free throw line, Elton Tyler, who has 18 points. Miami leads with 1:07 to play. The last time they met at Connecticut, the University of Connecticut Huskies on 2 free throws by Johnny Selvey with 5.7 seconds left to play. That brought the Huskies from behind to a 76-75 win. Looked like somebody stepped in early, Bucky. We're going to reshoot.
Wow. With 1:07 to go. Huge mistake. Huge mistake.
We go back to one of those old 3 to make 2s.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Johnny Selvey.
And Elton Tyler makes it go on the additional chance. It's a 2-point lead for the Canes. Here come the Huskies. And they want a timeout with with 1:03 left to play. So Jim Calhoun, who told his players at the outset of the season, you don't come here just to win games, you come to win championships. The most successful team in the Big East in the 90s, the University of Connecticut Huskies, and now the Miami Hurricanes, looking to avenge that earlier loss. We look at the Big East standings in the East Division. Connecticut starting tonight with a 6-1 record in the conference. Miami 5-3. Boston College fell to 4-4, losing at Providence today. Since '98, the University of Miami has been a tough team to beat, particularly good on the road, but overall since 1990, Connecticut has been one of the best teams in the country on the road. The overall records in Big East play, one of the keys to success, and they all want to win on the road because that's where the NCAA tournament is played, on the road.
I think Connecticut's going to go to Caron Butler.
Caron Butler has the ball. That is the call, and Caron Butler knocks it down. It's a 3. And Connecticut takes a 64-63 lead. And now Perry Clark wants a timeout to counsel his Hurricanes on this wild night of basketball in South Florida, with the lead changes building. And right now Connecticut holding to a 1-point lead. Now let's take a look at our best play of the game, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Watch Caron Butler step out, square up. Now he's only a 29% three-point shooter, but he took that one with great confidence. I really thought he put it on the floor, get in there a little closer, and maybe take it to the iron. But boy, he had room, and it was never a doubt. Now down 1. Look for the Canes with 49.6 seconds to go. Down 1. I think they're going to go to senior leader John Salmons and see what he can create.
Well, you had Caron Butler, and he responded with a 3-pointer. John Salmons has the ball. Miami off to an 18-2 start this season, the best start for Miami basketball in over 40 years. Now the Canes trailing on their home floor by 1. Salmons lets it fly. It's a 3. And the Canes lead 66-64. 30 seconds to go. And another move in this chess match. Calhoun calls for a timeout. Just like we like it, down to the final horn.
I don't care if the stone crabs do get cold, man. This is a game.
That's how they're supposed to be.
Well, you can have them hot. It can go both ways. Look at it. Cool, calm, collected. Both of these coaches, veterans. Watch John Salmons. Work. Boy, he puts a high arc on that ball. He needs to replace the divot in the square. I don't think he called board.
But he knocked it down, and so John Salmons is now the scoring leader in the game with 20 points for Miami, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in this game. The senior co-captain. You see the timeout situation with 30 seconds to go. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters at the Miami Arena. Big game in the Big East, just like we like it. Down to the horn. Here's Talik Brown breaking through. He lays it in, and the game is tied at 66 all.
Boy, oh boy, the Canes went to sleep on that one. He blew from the top of the key, and nobody lifted a finger. Not even Matador.
Now they get the high percentage shot. Great movement of the ball by the Hurricanes. They loop it down low, and Tyler with a slam dunk. 11.8 to play. Canes by 2, 68-66.
As great as the atmosphere here in this building, next year the Canes will move to an on-campus facility, the Ryder Center, where they're going to get this kind of atmosphere every time, and I think it's really going to enhance their program.
So 11.8 to go. UConn down by 2, and the Huskies will have the ball when we come back to the Miami Arena. Right down to the final horn and maybe more. And down the stretch run. 68-66, Canes in the lead. Huskies with the ball. That is the game clock winding down. Inside 5. Gordon shoots. Selby tries to put it back. Can't get it. Ball out of bounds. Time is out. And the Hurricanes avenge the earlier loss. And in a game with 19 lead changes and a game that was tied 9 different times, the Miami Hurricanes rally to beat Connecticut 68-66.
When these two teams get together, it's going to be just like that. Jim Calhoun wanting a foul on the last play. He won't get it. And what a hard-fought Big East game. Both of these teams have great futures. It was 2 top 20 teams. Yes, indeed. Air balls, not by these two teams, not short by that much. And it'll be a long ride back to Stores tonight. Connecticut feeling they did not get justice on that last shot. What a great game, Don.
And now let's take a look at the BMW ultimate drive of the game. This will be the winning hoop for Miami as they get penetration. Excellent ball movement down to Salmons. This savvy senior guard dishes off, and the big guy Elton Tyler slams it down for the 2-point lead, and in the end it was the game.
Okafor out of the game, fouling out in the latter parts of the second half. That would have been a lot more difficult if the big fellow was still around, but that's hoops.
Big East basketball at its best as the Miami Hurricanes prevail tonight 68-66. At a night when Larry Coker and the Miami National Championship football team was honored here. A night of celebration in South Florida. Now for Bucky Waters, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us in the Miami Arena. Unbelievable stretch run in this game. 19 lead changes, and on the 9 ties, and they broke the tie with the Elton Tyler slam, and that was it. This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. For Bucky Waters, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us at the Miami Arena.